This is my Module 2 honors assignment. So part 1 says, definition of the hinge theorem in your own words. I said if two triangles have two congruent sides and the included angle of one triangle is larger than the other included angle of the other triangle, then the side opposite to the larger included angle will be longer. This can also be flipped, and you can say the included angle opposite from the longer side will be larger if there are already two congruent sides. So part 2 says, teach each example below using the hinge theorem and its converse. So this one, we're trying to figure out which is larger, measurement of angle 1 or measurement of angle 2. So in order to figure out which angle is larger, we can use the hinge theorem. We can prove that if two triangles have two congruent sides, then the included angle that is larger will have a longer opposite side. In this case, the two triangles share a side and have congruence marks on the other side. So they share a side, which, that has to be congruent, and they have the congruence marks, so that means they have two congruent sides. We know that the side opposite to angle 1 is 10, and the side opposite to angle 2 is 7. So we know this and this. Since 10 is a greater number than 7, the hinge theorem proves that measurement of angle 1 is greater than measurement of angle 2, because measurement of angle 1 is opposite from the longer side. So since this is the longer side, 10, the opposite angle from the longer side is 1, which that means it has to be larger. So the next one is we're trying to figure out which side is longer, XB or ZB, which line. So we can see the two triangles have a congruent side and share a side. So they have congruence marks and they share a side. There are also two included angles, one 24 degrees and one 26, 24 and 26. If we use the hinge theorem, we know that if two triangles have two congruent sides, then the included angle that is larger will have a larger opposite side. So we know that these two triangles have two congruent sides, and the included angle that is longer is ZYB, because 26 is larger than 24. So ZYB, this angle right here, 26 is larger than 24. So we know that angle is larger than X by B. So the side opposite to the larger included angle will be longer. In this case, the side opposite from ZYB, which has a measurement of 26, which is larger than 24, is ZB. So XB is less than ZB. So this is the larger side, or the larger angle, and the side opposite to the larger angle will be longer, which is ZB. So ZB is greater than XB, or XB is less than ZB. So if we flip this over, we get part 3. Teach the problem below. Write an inequality or pair of inequalities to describe the possible values of x. Then solve the inequality and find the value of x. So in this problem, we know that 3x minus 2 is greater than 10 because of the hinge theorem that says that if two triangles have two congruent sides, which in this case they share a side, so it's congruent, this side right here, and which in this case they share a side, and they have two sides that equal 8, so these two sides are congruent too. So the hinge theorem says that if two triangles have two congruent sides, which we already saw that, then the side opposite to the larger included angle will be longer. The larger included angle is 135 and the side opposite to it is 3x minus 2. So this proves 3x minus 2 is greater than 10. So this angle is larger than this angle, and the side opposite to the larger angle will be longer. So 3x minus 2 is greater than 10. Now we solve, we add 2 to both sides, we get 3x is greater than 12, then we divide by 3 and we get x is greater than 4. So we know the inequality that describes the possible values of x is greater than 4. We also know that this is true because x can't be less than 0, and the inequality x is greater than 4. X must be greater than 4, and 4 is more than 0. So, we know that 4 is more than 0, and x in an angle, you can't have anything less than 0, and 4 is already greater than 0, so it works out. Now part 4 says teach how to solve the problem below. Write an inequality that represents the possible values for x. So part 4, so in this problem, we can see that there is an angle with 60 degrees. So this angle right here. The angle to the right of it, this angle right here, which is unknown, can be determined. Since both of these angles are on a straight line and divided by another line, this means that they are supplementary angles that equal 180 degrees. So this angle right here, 60 degrees, and this angle will have to equal 180 because they're on a straight line and they're cut by this line. Because we know this, we could figure out that the angle to the right of 60, this one right here, is 120. You get this by doing 180 minus 60 is 120, and we can also say 120 plus 60, 120 supplementary angles. I labeled the triangles ABC. Triangle A has a side of 10, and triangle C has a side of 18. So this one has a side of 10, and this one has a side of 18. So both triangles have two sides that are congruent and an included angle. So we see there's one congruence mark here and two congruence marks here. And then there's one congruence mark here and two congruence marks here. And so the included angle would be this right here and this right here, which we already figured out. This angle right here is 120 degrees. So we know that the angle opposite from the side, that side also has to be larger due to the hinge theorem. So the angle opposite to the longer side will have to be larger. So 18 is greater than 10. So the angle opposite to the larger side, which this is the larger side, will have to be greater. So 120 would have to be greater than 6x plus 12. So 120 is greater than 6x plus 12 because 18 is larger than 10. The angle opposite to the larger side is larger than the other angle, which we can see the included angles right here. This one's opposite from the larger side. So continuing on, so we could solve the equation 6x plus 12 is less than 120. You subtract 12 from both sides and you get 6x is less than 108. Then you divide by 6 and you get x is less than 18. So x still has to be greater than 0. We can check by doing the equation 6x plus 12 is greater than 0. And so you subtract 12 from both sides, and you get 6x is greater than negative 12, and then you divide by 6, and you get x is greater than negative 2. So this shows that x has to be greater than negative 2. But we already know that x has to be greater than 0, which is greater than negative 2, so we have to stick to that. If we put x is greater than negative 2, it would not be correct because negative 2 is less than 0. So our inequality would be 0 is greater than x. Or, I'm sorry, x is greater than 0 and x is less than 18.